In 2025, the rules for entering, living in, or staying in the United States have changed more than most people realize. If you're planning to visit America, apply for a visa, study in a U.S. university, or even if you already live in the United States with a green card, the reality is simple. Everything you thought you knew about immigration is no longer guaranteed. The return of President Donald Trump has ushered in a new wave of strict, aggressive, and controversial immigration laws. These laws are already in effect, and they're impacting travelers, students, workers, families, and undocumented individuals every single day. Whether you're from Latin America, Asia, Africa, Europe, or the Middle East, these changes could affect you. So before you book that ticket, apply for a visa or step through U.S. immigration at the airport. Listen carefully. This video is your essential 2025 immigration survival guide. Let's begin with one of the most alarming moves: visa suspensions. Earlier this year, the U.S. State Department quietly paused new visa interviews for F1 students, M visa holders, and J exchange visitors. These are the most common student and training visas. This pause wasn't because of staffing shortages or technical problems. Instead, it was part of a larger plan to implement stricter background checks, especially focused on applicants' social media activity. The government is now deeply analyzing your online presence before granting a visa. Posts, tweets, retweets, comments, likes, even content you've shared years ago is being reviewed to determine your eligibility. If they find anything critical of U.S. foreign policy, supportive of controversial movements, or connected to anti-government protests, your visa could be denied or revoked. For students and young professionals, this move is devastating. Thousands of aspiring scholars have already been delayed or rejected, some without explanation. If you're hoping to attend a U.S. school in the near future, prepare for delays, extra documentation, and intense screening. But the visa issue is just one part of the bigger picture. What's happening inside the United States is even more intense. The Trump administration has launched the largest immigration enforcement push in modern history. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, better known as ICE, has received orders to arrest a minimum of 3,000 undocumented individuals per day. This includes people with expired visas, those who missed court hearings, asylum seekers, and even people who've been in the U.S. for decades without legal issues. And yes, many of them are being deported within days, sometimes without ever seeing a judge. This isn't just targeting criminals. It's a blanket operation. If your paperwork isn't perfect, or if your status is in any way questionable, you could be at risk. Families are being separated. Children are left behind. Communities are terrified. The goal of this policy, according to officials, is to restore law and order and remove all illegal aliens. But critics say it's creating chaos, fear, and discrimination across the nation. One of the most controversial laws now being enforced is the Laken Act. This new legislation, passed in early 2025, requires the federal government to detain any undocumented person who is accused, but not yet convicted, of certain crimes. Crimes like theft, assault, or property damage are enough to trigger mandatory detention under this act. Even if it's a mistake, or the person is later found innocent, they can still be detained indefinitely. But it doesn't stop there. The law also gives states the power to sue the federal government if they believe immigration laws aren't being enforced. This has already led to multiple lawsuits and battles between state and federal authorities. And it's only going to escalate. If you or a family member is undocumented and has any interaction with law enforcement, no matter how small, the consequences under this new act can be immediate and severe. Perhaps even more shocking is the executive order signed by Trump aimed at ending birthright citizenship. Known as Executive Order 14,160, This measure attempts to deny automatic U.S. citizenship to children born on U.S. soil, to undocumented parents, or those on temporary visas. Traditionally, anyone born in the U.S. has the right to citizenship under the 14th Amendment. But this new order directly challenges that right. As of now, the order is blocked in federal court, but it has ignited a major legal battle that could reach the Supreme Court. If it's upheld, millions of children who were once considered citizens could be stripped of their rights, leaving them stateless, without protection, and without a future in the country they were born in. Legal experts are calling this one of the boldest and most dangerous challenges to the Constitution in modern times. If you're from Venezuela, Cuba, Haiti, or Nicaragua, there's another huge update you need to know. In a move that stunned humanitarian organizations, the Trump administration has completely shut down the humanitarian parole programs that once protected migrants from these countries. These programs allowed people to stay temporarily in the U.S. while they waited for asylum decisions or worked legally to support their families. Now, all of that is gone. Work permits have been revoked. Protection from deportation has been removed. And thousands of migrants are now being forced to return to countries they fled from, countries still struggling with violence, poverty, and political instability. Beyond policy and paperwork, the way immigration is enforced at the border has changed dramatically, too. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers now routinely inspect travelers' smartphones, tablets, and laptops. They can, and often do, demand access to your social media, emails, and private conversations. If you refuse to unlock your device, or if they find something they deem suspicious, you could be denied entry on the spot. And this isn't limited to visitors. Green card holders, work visa holders, and even permanent residents have faced questioning and secondary screening because of what was found or assumed on their devices. Travelers are advised to delete sensitive content, log out of accounts, or carry clean devices to avoid complications. But even that may not guarantee safety. All of these changes point to one simple reality. Immigration in 2025 is not just about paperwork. It's about your digital footprint, your associations, your politics, and your country of origin. If you've posted a political opinion, shared a controversial image, or even attended a peaceful protest, you may now be a target of enhanced scrutiny. The Trump administration's new rules are not just targeting people crossing the border. They're going after ideas, beliefs, and affiliations. So, what can you do? First, stay informed. Watch official government sites like uscis.gov and travel.state.gov for real-time updates. Second, clean up your online profiles. Remove posts that could be misunderstood or twisted out of context. Third, consult with an immigration attorney before submitting any applications, changing your visa, or re-entering the country. It's better to be over-prepared than caught off guard. Fourth, always carry physical copies of your documents, visas, green cards, and identification. If you're stopped, being able to immediately prove your status can make all the difference. And finally, be cautious. Avoid protests, political confrontation, or anything that could be recorded and used against you later. This may feel unfair, but right now, it's the unfortunate reality many immigrants must face. In 2025, the American immigration system has become one of the most complex, high-risk, and politically sensitive systems in the world.